Good
if you'd like to
evening,
intro
listeners.
this one, I don't. Oh,
Well, fuck you.
I didn't fucking know you were gonna do it.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. Anyway,
Good evening, listeners at home, and welcome to episode 48 of Closing Shift, the third to final episode in the Closing Shift anthology.
yep.
We are your hosts for just a few weeks longer. I'm Mia, that's Emmy.
Yep.
And we are here to bring to you, in these dying hours, the best entertainment we can.
And we're not in 3 weeks anymore.
Yeah, get used to it.
We're not here for that. You can go watch Rotting Coffee on Twitch if you want that shit.
New Year's resolution to not do this shit anymore.
If you're on our page on Spotify or YouTube or something and you see episode 50 is up, that means the show's over.
Yep.
So congrats to us finally taking our ball and going.
I have this week's opening question, and now that we are recording this on the first day of the new year, I have a New Year related question.
That's true.
What is your predictions for things that might happen this year, 2025? If you had to fill out a bingo board of things that are going to happen this year, what you got?
I don't know. It's kind of a loaded question. There's a lot of possibilities, and not a lot of them are great.
That is true.
Uh,
I'm going to throw an easy one out there. A Paul brother gets into another crypto scheme.
fair enough. Yeah, that's not where my head's at. I'm thinking this might be the toughest Pride Month of the last decade.
That's true.
Maybe in America at least, probably majorly elsewhere as well.
Yeah, this year is going to be a major vibe killer.
Yeah, I don't know. My prediction is that I still won't have anyone on Valentine's Day to be my Valentine.
Well, that's just sad. That's not a prediction, that's self-deprecation.
You know what another not prediction is that on February 5th, 2025, it'll be 1 whole year since I quit vaping.
That'll be a nice milestone.
It's a pretty epic milestone. I can't even believe it's been that long. It'll also be around the time we started this show.
Yep, right there at the start of February.
We're gonna make it to just under a year, and then we're leaving.
Yep.
We're leaving, and we're not passing the torch. We're dropping it on the way out.
We're like if Unis Honest wanted to cuck everybody.
Yeah, and they just quit halfway through the year.
Blueness, ballness.
Well, welcome back to Closing Shift, brought to you by this can of Diet Coke I'm drinking because that's the only reason I'm able to be here.
I'm normally drinking coffee when we're recording these, but we're doing this one in the evening instead, so I actually just have a root beer this time, because it's too late for coffee.
Nice. I usually have my last cup of coffee at 6 p.m., and it's not a full-size cup.
That's a rough time.
But that'll usually keep me up during the evening, and then I'll get tired around midnight or 1.
I have some nice coffee-related stuff now, because for Christmas, which I was sick all the way through, and that sucked, I got a cold brew coffee pot, which you just dump the grounds into the filter, and then you steep it in a bunch of water, and it makes 3 days worth of cold brew in one pot. And it takes 24 hours to make, but it means that I just have a pitcher of cold brew sitting in the fridge behind me. And it's nice to just have that there, to just mix it at my desk.
Nice. That's how I feel with my Diet Coke. I bought 36 Diet Coke cans, just filled my fridge with them. So I'm set. With all the gaming I've been doing, that's been very helpful. Although at a certain point, I'm I can't breathe. I need water.
Oh yeah, it gets to be quite a lot.
Can't just inhale soda like I used to 4 or 5 years ago.
I've been inhaling a lot of liquid for the past couple weeks. I'll mention real briefly. We did the last episode of this. We had 2 weeks ago where I was sick and trying to record this. That was when it was starting to get bad. And then it went away after a week and we recorded the last episode. And then it came back for a week. And then that's now we're recording this because I had walking pneumonia for about 2.5 weeks, which sucked a lot because, with that being primarily coughing up a bunch, I couldn't do streaming for 2.5 weeks and it really, really sucked. And I missed out on streaming in almost the entire month of December, which really, really sucks. And it started to go away a few days ago. But unfortunately, with having that for so long, that when it started to go away, something else came into its place, which is that the walking pneumonia turned itself into an ear, nose, throat infection, which I'm still fighting right now. And I know I don't sound A1. I know my throat has like some scratchiness to it that's not standard. But I was dealing with, some swelling in my mouth, some swelling in my jaw. And I still have swelling on the left side of my jaw that woke me up at 6 a.m. because it fucking hurt. I've been on antibiotics and an inhaler for that. First time using an inhaler in my life was in this past week. And I hope that does not become a staple, because being sick this much, my immune system is fucked up. It's weak. And so, getting damage like this, being sick for that long, I can only hope doesn't have like a permanent damage. But I'm so happy now. I'm so overjoyed that I can like say more than 2 words without hacking out a lung. Because that's how I was on Christmas. But not fun.
Yeah, you and my sister just being dead on Christmas. She was also sick through the Christmas season.
It sucks.
It does. And I had a great Christmas season, but where am I supposed to put that story?
Right here to bring up the mood.
Well, actually, my Christmas was great. I got to see my family and say lots of words that feel healthy. You loser. No, I'm kidding.
I need somebody else's Christmas to live vicariously through, because I had no good Christmas holiday enjoyment this year. I had no holiday cheer. I need somebody else's.
I got some of like the coolest stuff. I got to be part of my nephew's Christmas, which is my favorite part of every year.
Nice.
Just because he has the whimsical childlike wonder of a child because he's a child, and it's fun to watch him open a shit ton of It's fun to like be part of like the filling the tree with presents for him and watching him open them all, because he's 3, and it's fun to watch him get surprised every time he opens like another set of cars.
Yeah.
It's really funny. And I love him. And I also get to open tons of stuff, and I get surprised. I actually meant to show you, I'll show you after the episode, but my sister got me Rhea Ripley merch for my birthday, and I didn't even ask for that.
Yo.
I was so shocked when I opened it that I covered my mouth and gasped.
What merch you got?
Oh, I don't think it's official merch, but it is, I got a shirt and a sweatshirt.
Nice.
The sweatshirt is white and just has like a Rhea, like a compilation of like Rhea PNGs of her from over the years, like different styles.
3 Wolf Moon Rhea Ripley.
And then the t-shirt I have is black, and it's just got a picture in the middle of it of her looking fine as ever, looking fine, with a flat face flipping off, just giving the double middle finger, and it's fucking awesome.
Nice.
It's such a dope shirt. I'm gonna wear it next time I go to church. I don't go to church. I'm kidding.
This is Christianity.
In case somehow you don't know that I don't go to church. I don't go to church. Not a Christian. Never professed to be. I also got a giant Piplup plushie, which was very fulfilling because I got it from a friend who I had just been talking about my Brilliant Diamond playthrough with.
Nice.
And we bonded over how Piplup's like one of our favorite Pokemon. And they gave me that. And I also was extremely shocked when I opened it because I didn't ask for that either.
You sounded like a Pearl saying that. My Brilliant Diamond.
That's what it was. What do you want from me?
I want to make fun of you and make commentary on the internet.
Well, I'm glad you only have 3 hours left to do that on the internet. Fuck you, asshat. Also, when you were talking about your immune system being weak, it reminded me of my autoimmune disorder that I have. In case you didn't know, I have multiple sclerosis. And if you don't know what that is, you're stupid. Look it up. Say it into Siri, because you're not going to know how to spell it, probably.
It's also known as MS.
Also known as MS. Michael Sowerson.
My shtitties.
Mick Sagger. We also haven't mentioned this, but we are actually recording this episode in the evening, and it's quite late in the day for me compared to when we normally do this, which honestly makes for a better energy level in general. I'm usually pretty tired in the afternoons, but it's like 8 p.m. for me right now.
Well, I don't know how well you're paying attention, but I did mention that it is the evening, right towards the beginning.
No, you didn't.
I sure did, because you talked about how you're
We
drinking
haven't mentioned
Coke.
that yet. It's actually the evening.
You said you were drinking Coke, and I said normally I'd be drinking coffee, but it's the evening, so I'm drinking root beer. We had that talk.
Don't make me get the gun.
How many times do I have to tell you?
I had to work today, okay? I'm tired.
I'm dying. You can't make fun of me.
I inhaled. I was able to prevent a like full-on attack, but I choked on a little bit of my spit there. But yeah, and what have you been doing while you're sick? Just been like gaming or chilling or heaving? What you been up to?
I mostly slept. This was the thing. I talked about it in the whatever episode a couple weeks ago, how my primary strategy was in the first week of being sick was a bunch of tomato soup, a bunch of garlic bread. And that was good. Going into second week of being sick, most of that I got away with just doing Christmas leftovers and all that for food options was nice. But in the time that I spent in most of that, if I was not sleeping, which I did mostly, I was either watching Northern Lion, usually watching him play The Bazaar, because that's just great, or
Bazinga.
I watched a bunch of the Majin Phil Ocarina of Time Giga Randomizer, which I watched like probably 30 hours of that, because I mean, fuck else was I gonna do?
That makes sense for you.
That was the majority of that time. And then when I was finally starting to come around to having enough energy to sit up at my desk for at least a couple hours, I started playing Ocarina of Time myself. I stopped watching the Giga Rando because I kind of got worn out on it. But then I just played a normal playthrough of Ocarina of Time for myself in the Ship of Harkinian PC decompile version, which lets it be widescreen 60 FPS. Very nice quality of life for that. Made it very, very enjoyable. Just played through the game normally, and it was a great time because I hadn't done that in many years.
Nice.
So that was my sick experience for the most part, other than, the dying part. But, at least I got some fun out of it that way.
That's good. I'm glad it wasn't all terrible.
Not entirely.
I've also been up to a lot of I've been a little silly in the gaming sphere recently.
You've been gaming.
Playing a lot of different games. I bought myself a whole bundle of games on Steam for my birthday because it was a gift to myself for working so hard this year. I quit vaping this year. I worked all year on this podcast and didn't give it up for the whole year. 2025, time to go.
Hit the deadline already.
That's my limit. I can only do 1 year of content, and that's it.
There's no A+. We get the grade and we leave.
But I've talked about this before, but in June is when I started taking this step back that got me to this point where I'm stepping away from all of it. Yeah, so for any of you guys who were Cosmic Emerald viewers, lose my number. But other than that, yes, I've just been doing a lot of gaming. My main 3 games that have stories and campaigns have been Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, which I've been waiting all year to play. Spider-Man Miles Morales, which I already beat the main campaign of. I did not finish the whole game, but I beat the story on PS4 last year-ish, and I am about 63% of the way through the game right now on PC. And I've been playing Cyberpunk 2077.
Based.
Cyberpunk 2077 probably throwing me for the biggest loop right now because I did not expect how the Konpeki Plaza mission was I did not expect how that went at all. Also, I thought it was part of the game, but I think there was a mission where my screen was black the whole time except for the UI, and I don't think that was supposed to happen. And I couldn't see unless I was in scanning mode. But I thought it was part of the game, so I just kept scanning to see where I was going, and then I'd move.
Was it the brain dance sequence, or was it the little robot sequence? Just normal walking around?
It was at it was at the end. I was on the balcony going to a ladder to climb down from the fuck is it called? The penthouse at the top. Me and what's his name?
Jackie Wells.
Jackie were trying to sneak out, and my screen was just black unless I was in scan mode. So I would just keep scanning to see where I was going, but I could only move when I wasn't scanning. So I had to just keep going back and forth. And I think the game was busted.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that at the time. One time, the reason I figured it out is because my screen went black one time, and I was like, okay, this doesn't make any sense though. Because it was right after the power went out in the hotel that my screen went black. So I thought it was just dark. But then I was like, but there's windows. I should be able to see stuff.
Yeah, it still has a couple problems.
And then it happened later in the game, and I was like, let me reload the save file. And I was like, oh, it's fine now. Okay, so it was broken the whole time. So I did that mission without being able to see.
Probably a good idea to get into the habit of quick saving and quick loading.
Listen, I am the type to do one thing even if it's a side thing, immediately manual save.
Oh, of
or quick
course.
save. Trust me, I'm on that shit like hardcore. I know. I played Breath of the Wild. I know how to do it. I mean, all those Zelda and Pokemon games I played, I'm like hardcore immediate save after doing any task.
Oh yeah.
Just in case I decide to step away. Do not want to lose my place. I mean, during both of my Pokemon playthroughs, I just had the game open all the time, and I just put it in sleep mode while the game was open. I never even closed the games, which was very convenient.
It was the most nerve-wracking thing playing Majora's Mask. Because Majora's Mask, the game only...
Because that game sucks?
No, the game's really good. The game only saves your progress when you play the Song of Time to reset the 3-day cycle, which means that on average, you're only saving like once every hour. And that can really, really mess with your confidence.
What? But even in Ocarina of Time, you can save anywhere. What the heck?
Yeah, well, Ocarina of Time doesn't have as many moving parts. Ocarina of Time is very linear. Majora's Mask has a million parts that move at the same time, so you can't just pop out at one point and come back in at the exact same point. Everything works from like... The way that Majora's Mask works is that it's like they set 10 marbles up at the top of a track and drop them all at the same time. You can't just pause individual marbles and start them again from where they are, because you can't just like keep track of a million marbles as they're falling. So the game forces it that if you want to save, you basically have to put all the marbles back at the top of the track, because it's way too much information for an N64 game to keep track of at one time. Like, depending on what time of day it is in the game, changes everybody's position. Everything is on such set schedules that, like, there was not enough memory on the Nintendo 64 to allow for saving like Ocarina of Time has.
They should have just added that in all the ports.
Yeah.
Like a million ports of Majora's Mask. They should have just added... I mean, you could do that on the Switch thing. You can just do, like, emulator saving.
I mean, much like Ship of Harkinian, there's a PC decompile of Majora's Mask that is in the works that I'm very much looking forward to, because that will make it a significantly better gaming experience to play it on the PC 60 FPS widescreen. Because even Majora's Mask 3D on the 3DS, it's a well-made port, but it's still not a good port.
Mm-hmm.
It's still kind of better to just play the original, but the original runs at like 14 FPS in critical areas. And the GameCube version is the worst. Somehow they fucked that up really bad.
I never had a problem with the GameCube version. What's wrong with the GameCube version?
Of Majora's Mask?
Of either of them. I have like the collector's edition with Zelda, Zelda 2, Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask.
Majora's Mask on the Master's Collection runs at like 12 FPS in Clocktown. It's the only one that has that problem.
Oh, well, the collector's edition is fine then, I suppose. I never had a problem with that.
I've been started it today, because I finished my casual playthrough of Ocarina of Time, and I was like, oh, there's so much stuff that I forgot the actual sequence of it, because my majority of content I consume of Ocarina of Time is randomizers, meaning that like I see everything so out of sequence that I've forgotten how a lot of the stuff actually works. So after doing a casual playthrough, I started another randomizer today, and it's going 1,000 times better than the randomizer I tried to do a few months ago. One, just for it being an easier seed that I got, but also I'm like, oh, I actually understand how all this stuff is supposed to work now. And it's been a lot better, a lot more fun time. And I want to do more of them in the future. I learned how to do a couple speedrun tricks just today.
That's cool. I would like to just like learn how to play them in general one day.
You should play the Ship of Harkinian version. I'll send you the stuff for it, because it's the best way to play it.
I might. I'm very hesitant on downloading anything that's not like official software right now. I know that is probably fine, but it's just a thing for me.
Little paranoid after the Discord stuff.
Yeah, I'm not gonna talk about it too much because I'm refraining from doing that on purpose. But my Discord account got hacked recently. It was a big deal, but it's okay now. Certainly not trying to download anything right now though. That does not come from like Steam.
That's fair.
Or like is Fortnite or whatever. I hardly even have any. Like, I worked on my drives, I cleaned them out, I uninstalled any useless games, I pulled out my external hard drive, I put any data I don't need on it and removed it. It's a little breezier of a life. It's part of that just like step back, relaxing I've been doing. Sorry for touching the mic so much during that. But yeah.
It is nice to have a digital declutter every now and then. I just had, like right before I got sick, I finally made the effort to clean up more of my desktop. A lot of the icons here that I was like, I don't need 90% of the stuff that's on my desktop. And it is so much nicer to look at now.
If you'd like to, we could get into my segment a little bit.
Let's do segments. You hyped this up. I'm excited.
I am pretty excited about it myself. I've got a game here. I'm calling it segment that everyone has done some kind of format of, and I put my own spin on because I didn't feel like coming up with shit I didn't feel like doing prep for the other segment ideas I have. This was a very easy segment to create, yet I think it will create a lot of funnies out of this episode. I'm excited about it. Basically, what I've got for you here is a game where I'm going to give you an item, except I'm not going to give you the item. Your job is to guess the item.
Oh my god, just like my randomizer.
Here's how it's going to work. There are 3 rounds, 3 items. Individually, you will be trying to guess. You will have 20 total questions you are allowed. 20 yes or no questions. You can only ask yes or no questions.
This seems like a game called 20 Questions.
Yeah, but I added a spin.
I added a 21st question.
No, I didn't. There's 20 questions. You can ask me 20 yes or no questions. If you get through after you ask the 20th question, you will have one final guess if you haven't successfully guessed it by then.
So if I want to make guesses in between, does that waste a question?
No, well...
So if I've like asked 2 yes or no's, then I'm like, is it this thing? Then that like takes one away, or do I only get the one guess at the end?
No. Hold on. I'm getting there. Hold your horses.
Read the fucking manual.
Basically, how it's gonna go is you have the 20 yes or no's. You can virtually guess as many times as you want, and if you guess correctly within the amount of time you have, you get 5 points. You get 5 points for guessing correctly. Now, I have one hint for each of the items. They're pretty general hints, but they will give you a direction ahead if you're just totally lost. They will give you a direction ahead. If you get the answer correct but you used a hint, you will get 3 points. And if you don't get it at all, you will get 0 points. Now, your goal is to get at least 10 points, which means you would either have to use only one hint, get at least 2 of them correct with no hint, or get all of them correct with you could use like 2 hints in that case. However you want to get to 10 points, that's your goal. You got to get to 10 points, and you win if you get to 10 points.
All right.
So are you ready? Do you have any questions before we begin?
You said within the time. How long do I have?
No time limit. Just the time between asking question 1 and asking question 20, I mean.
Got it.
I'm not putting any limit on you like that. Are you ready?
I think the only thing I have to ask is, are they all going to be objects, or are there different categories?
They are all objects you have come across in your life several times, yes.
Got it. Your dad's penis.
No. That cost you 10 questions. All right, are you ready for the first round?
I am ready.
All right, go ahead.
Is it something you can hold?
You can hold it, yes.
Is it something that you use?
I would say no, because you don't use it. You do not use it with your hands like that. No.
Again, a little more information for my yes or no's.
Well, to be honest, with this item saying, do you use it, is kind of hard not to go into a little bit of detail with.
Can I rephrase that as, is it a tool?
No, it is not any kind of tool. No.
Is it a food item?
It is not.
Is it made of metal?
Part of it is. I will say that. I will give you that. Part of it is.
Okay.
It has metal involved in its build.
So it is capable of being held in the hands. Not a tool. Part of it is made of metal. I think that's getting me somewhere.
Pretty good questions. I won't lie. I wonder what it is.
Gotta think of these questions.
I also will warn you. You are to keep track of the answers. I am not keeping track of what these items' qualities are based on your questions.
Yeah. How many questions have I asked so far?
You asked, I believe, 4? I think you asked 4?
Yes. Is it an item that is seen or interacted with on a daily basis?
Yeah.
Does the average person encounter this item every day?
Absolutely.
Okay. Part of it is metal. Are there more than 2 parts to it?
No.
Okay. So that means it's a 2-part object. Is it decorative?
I'll just that's tough, but I will say sometimes.
Sometimes decorative.
I will
okay.
say sometimes because the answer is yes and no depending on what. Honestly, the hint I have is more general than the shit you have already.
Let's see.
Actually, what question are you on? I'm not keeping track of the questions. I should.
Like 7.
We'll just call it 7. Yeah, that's fine. I trust you.
Trust my terrible
The
math.
person who's limited on the question amount. I'm gonna need a Diet Coke before you get through this item.
So it's not something you use. It's something that you can hold in your hands. Part of it is made of metal. It's not any kind of tool. It is made of no more than 2 parts. It is not a food item. That should be inherent from the metal.
Yes.
Is it a household object?
Yes.
Is it a kitchen object?
No, not that specifically, no.
Okay. Not specifically a kitchen item.
Like, how I want to answer that for you would give it away a lot more than I'd like, so that's my answer.
Got it.
Said the fuck you girl, stealing my balls and straight up throwing them like a quarterback. I think it's so many of those TikToks.
Is it larger than a loaf of bread?
No.
No, that's good to know.
Interesting size comparison. But not bad.
Is it larger than a banana?
I would say no.
Good to know. So it's relatively small. It is an item that can be used in the kitchen, or can be found in the kitchen, but not specifically. It is a sometimes decorative item. It is definitely small enough to fit in the hand. Now, what is something that is made of metal and something else?
Yeesh. I wish I knew.
Is the other part of it also hard?
Yeah.
I wasn't a very confident yeah.
I mean, it is hard. Like, if you touched it, it would be, like, solid, hard.
You could knock on it.
Yeah, you could.
Is it a fucking door handle?
It's just hard to, like, answer, because, like, when you know when I tell you what the item is or you guess it, you'll understand why that's a weird question.
Okay.
But since I know what the item is, it's really funny to imagine you knocking on it. Anyway, keep going. I'm hosting. I'm a professional.
All right, so this is a comedic item. Got it.
It's not a comedic item. You know what I'll tell you? I'll give you a little hint for free. No points deducted. It's hilarious to imagine you knocking on it.
Okay. It's too small to be a refrigerator.
It is entirely too small to be a refrigerator. You guys like that snap crackle sound, that soda opening? You guys like that shit?
It's not a food item, so it's not a can of soda. That would have been an early guess.
It is not food.
Is it commonly put into a pocket?
Like a pants pocket? No.
No. All right. We're getting somewhere.
Not even at all.
Is it a pencil?
It is not a pencil.
Okay. This is very difficult.
I'm glad I got the jump on this segment.
Yeah. Oh, I'd make this shit impossible. I'd make you guess shit like the event horizon.
Shit, dude, I lost track. I'm just gonna say you're at 10 questions because I keep losing track. I think
I'm closer to 12.
I need to keep better track. I'm just gonna say 10 because you deserve more guesses for me not paying attention. I should be paying attention.
I gotta think of questions. I gotta think of them.
This game is tough from that perspective, I understand.
Is it earbuds?
I got this idea from watching people do it. No, it is not earbuds.
Good to know. Sometimes decorative is an interesting part of it. Part of it's metal. Does the metal part of it have to be metal?
Yes.
Okay, has to be metal.
The metal part of it is always metal, yes.
Would it be abjectly unpleasant to taste it? Like, would it be gross to taste it?
Probably.
All right.
That's 12 questions. According to my count only. Probably more than that, but whatever.
I would say a phone, but it doesn't go in the pocket.
No, it does not go in a pocket. My hint is also still up for grabs and would still help you at this point if you...
That is true.
If you want it at any point.
I feel like hint is, I'd like to save that as a lifeline.
That's fair. I completely understand. Question 19. I need the hint.
Is it only found indoors?
No.
No. Okay.
It can be found outdoors.
Is it ever associated with a larger object?
Yeah.
All right. Is it keys?
No.
No. Okay. Can be outside. Is it electrical?
Yes.
Is it a light bulb?
It is a light bulb.
Let's
Congrats.
go!
You got the first item, 5 points, no hint. Good job.
That took me a long time, but I got it.
You totally did. You rocked that.
Let's go.
Some good questions. I am happy for you.
We used to have a portable, like, 20 questions little thing as a kid. There's like a little pocket version of it.
I had that too, yeah.
Hell yeah.
That thing was ridiculous.
I am rather proud of myself.
I've got my socializing device.
Finally, human contact in the form of a computer.
Milady, before we make love, I'd like to check my records. It's just the 20 questions device.
First question. Did they file their taxes in 2024? Maybe.
Maybe. Someone a naughty bitch who needs punishing.
Uncertain.
All right, you ready for round 2, pussy?
I am. Pussy.
All right, round 2. Go ahead.
Is it larger than a loaf of bread?
No.
Is it larger than a banana?
Maybe. Probably.
Okay.
If it's probably like around, I don't know, probably.
Good to know.
Should compare it to stuff I would see it next to, like ever. Instead of
Well, you don't know banana for scale?
No.
That's like a famous thing on the internet for like the past 20 years, banana for scale. Take a picture of anything and put a banana next to it.
That is something I believe wholeheartedly only you in my life would ever know.
That's crazy that you don't know about banana for scale. Let me send you a picture of like some of this meme. Even like Mythbusters used it as a meme.
That's bananas.
There's a whole subreddit called bananas for scale. And it's literally just, you just take a picture of whatever and it's like, here's a banana for scale.
Why would I know about that shit?
It just became a common thing on the internet like forever ago. That like, you know, if you like, somebody was just like, I need to post a thing, but I have no size reference for it. So here's a banana so you can have a size reference. So it's become it's a little bit of a thing. It's not so big these days though.
Its reach definitely didn't hit me.
Is it a food item?
No, I believe that's question number 3.
Yes. I'm
Cool.
keeping better track this time.
I am also trying to.
Is it a singular item?
Yes.
Okay. Does it go in a pants pocket?
No.
No, good to know.
It's not your hand.
Is it a household object?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Is it made of metal?
No.
No. Okay. Is it hard?
Yes.
Yes, not made of metal, but it is hard. Roughly the size of a banana. Is it a container?
No.
No. We're getting somewhere here. Is it only found indoors?
Most of the time, yeah. It would be odd to find it outdoors.
Good to know. Is it electronic?
Yes.
Electronic doesn't go in the pocket, roughly the size of a banana.
There's nothing wrong with your questions, but I don't know how they're stumping me so hard. Like, it's so much harder to answer yes or no questions than I thought it was. But anyway,
We live in strange times.
sometimes you just have to clarify.
It is hard, but it's not made of metal, which means it's probably like wood or plastic or ceramic.
Yeet.
Yeet. It's not a container, so that rules out stuff like cups and mugs, because that also rules out electronic.
It's not a container.
Not a container.
Container.
Computer. Does it create sound?
No.
Does not create sound. Does it create light?
They do sometimes. That's hard to say. Actually, I have to backtrack and say that some of them also do create sound. Actually. Which is hard to help, but that is just the fact of the matter, ladies and gentlemen.
So that means that there's variety within the genre. I think that is a thing in 20 questions. Like sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Sometimes maybe, sometimes it takes a paragraph to explain the answer to your question, even though it is technically a yes or no question.
Maybe you give me the credit that you put the Nalia. Does it have buttons?
Yes.
Is it a remote control?
No. I mean, you're barking up the right tree.
Is it a controller?
It is a controller. It's a game controller. You got it.
Okay.
You got it.
So goated. That was roughly the same amount of questions as last time.
Yeah. No, you're interpreting all these answers absolutely correctly. I'm actually quite impressed. I'm happy I picked this segment this week.
It definitely helps. Once you think of a good question, it becomes immediately reusable.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like the breakdown, the joke is like, there's a 50% chance that everything is a potato because it's either a potato or not a potato. That's the mentality you gotta have.
I certainly didn't consider like your brain when I was writing these rules and stuff.
I'm happy that I got that one faster. Didn't it stall as much?
You already You already won, so you could like not get the next one and win. So congrats on that, but there is a round 3. So are you ready for round 3?
Yes. This is very fun.
Okie dokie. Here we go.
I feel like I'm on a car trip.
This is a very car trip type of thing. Go ahead.
Is it larger than a banana?
I would say it is probably about larger than a banana.
That's more information than you needed to give me, because I could have wasted another question on getting the upper range of size. You're being very generous.
It's hard for me. It's hard for me when I know what this is. Like it's like you asked about knocking when it was a light bulb. It's hard for me to be like, yes, you can knock on it. But like, who the fuck would do that because it's a light bulb? You know what I mean? I
meant that more as, I was like gauging the hardness of it. As like, it's something that you could like tap, 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 but.
I was like, you could tap, tap, tap lightly.
Lightly?
That's like what I wanted to say. Anyway.
Is it electronic?
No. This was not an electronic item.
Non-electronic item, roughly larger than a banana.
Yes.
Is it a tool?
No.
Not a tool.
Show me tool.
Show me your tool.
Is
it handheld?
It can be.
When it is in its primary purpose, is it being held in the hand?
No.
Good to know.
You have to. I love how you have to ask these in my format for me to be. You're like
I'm rubbing the genie lamp over here. Just add as much fine print as I can.
You're like making it harder for me. It's tough.
All right, not electronic. Does not exist mostly in the hand? Is it a household object?
No.
No. Is it decorative?
No.
Not decorative, not a household object, not held in the hand, but a little bit larger than a banana. So I asked if it was a household object. Did I ask if it was typically found or only found indoors?
No, you didn't.
I will ask that now.
I would say typically, yeah.
Typically found indoors.
Like, if you're looking for one, you will usually find it indoors, yes.
Not electronic. Is it hard to the touch?
I'm thinking about how to answer this.
Can you touch an electrical socket?
Why are yes or no questions? Like, not yes or no questions at all.
Because we don't live in a binary world.
Yeah, we don't. It's just not that general. I expected this to be harder for you than it is for me, but it's actually harder for me. I am going to say, I'm going to say yes. It's like solid, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Like, it's not water.
Yeah, it's not a block of Jell-O.
Well.
I did not ask if it was a food item yet. I will ask if it is a food item.
No, unless you're, like, stupid. Unless you don't know what food is.
Pills, final answer.
It's a 747. It's gasoline.
Pictures of it fit in my packet. Let's see. Is it a container?
No.
Can I rephrase that to be less vague about the word container? Does it hold other objects?
No.
Okay, just want to make sure. We're not having like a hot dog as a sandwich kind of thing.
No.
Typically found indoors, but it's not a household object. That's the most interesting part of it. Roughly larger than a banana.
Do you know what number question we're at?
11.
I will clarify about my indoor-outdoor answer that it is not as weird to find outdoors as like a game controller.
If you saw it outside, you'd be like, oh, what's that doing there?
Yeah, basically.
All right.
I will give you that, because that was hard to answer.
Yeah.
I've reflected.
Not decorative. Man, this is a toughie.
Yes.
Not electronic.
This one lives in a realm of which you have not explored yet.
Not household, but it is typically indoors. That's the interesting part.
I wonder if you will see the path you have to go down to get better clues for this item.
Gotta open up the skill tree. Is the object part of a greater whole?
No, not like that. No.
Okay, it's kind of just a standalone object.
I would advise that you think of it as an item more than like an object.
Okay. Well, it is a solid thing, so.
Since you already won the entire game, I'm gonna help you a little bit more.
No, my honor. My honor.
I'm not gonna insult your intelligence, but I'm gonna help you a little bit.
They don't treat you like a friend. They treat you like an item. I know because I get friend-zoned so often.
I don't want it to be like the Adventure Time Grable's episode we watched where you were like, that's bullshit. I want you to like see the option to go down the path that will lead you to this guess.
Look, I'm okay with failure at this point. This is the victory lap.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not trying to like emotionally save you.
Of course.
I think it'll be triumphant if you can get this.
It's hard to the touch, so is said.
It's not cum, so.
It's not cum. I was thinking penis.
Is it cum from 5 days ago?
The cum sock. This is interesting. Very interesting. Is the object itself used in any way?
I think I'm going to need a more specific question than that, if I'm being honest. That is a very hard answer to give without.
For the item to serve its purpose, does it need to be interacted with?
Yes.
Yes. All right.
You do have to interact with it for it to do what it normally is doing.
It's not like a passive thing that's like air freshener that just sits there. All right. Not household is still the most interesting thing. All right, I'm thinking. Is it used in the workplace?
Used isn't the right word. It can exist in the workplace.
Can exist in the workplace. So it's a very general thing. In the most basic way that a door handle is mechanical, is it mechanical?
No.
No. Okay.
I'm trying so hard not to like push you in the right direction. That's a good question though.
Is it typically found within arm's reach? Like it's not on the ceiling, not on the floor?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, arm's reach really depends on like where you are. But
I mean, like,
yes.
It's like if you were going to reach out straight in front of you, it's kind of in that ballpark. Like, could be on like a table in front of you or a shelf, whatever.
Yeah.
All right. You might, Rabbit, you might. Not mechanical, but it's hard to the touch. It has to be human operated. Not found in the household, but can be found in the workplace. Not commonly in the household. It doesn't just it isn't passively useful.
No, it doesn't do what it does by itself.
Yeah. Does it make noise?
No.
Does not make noise. So what purpose does this serve? Is it made of more than one part?
You mean like two separate parts that connect?
I mean, like it's not just like a solid block of wood. Like it's like it can be disassembled.
It can't be disassembled. No. Usually these come in like one thing.
I was getting more that like it's made out of like, is it made of more than one material?
No.
Okay. That's good to know. I'm running out of questions. This is as far as I've made it towards the end.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll use my hint.
Okay. Your hint for this one is there are many different sizes and shapes and variations of this item.
Okay. That is good to know. But it's not a household object.
I mean, you'd find it. I need to...
Did you throw me astray when you said that is when I asked if it's a household object that it actually can be found in a house?
It can be found in a house.
It like when I ask if is it a household object, like is it an object one would reasonably have in their house? I'm not asking if it's like a frying pan that has to be in a house.
Yeah, no, like you can find it. Yes, you would find this item in a house like 100. That's probably where you'd most likely find one.
That is, so you threw me completely off with that then.
It's hard because I mean, like when I Googled household object definition, it says like goods and items to be used in a household. So that's like what I was thinking. And it's not so specific that it's like locked, like you would only use it in a house. So it's hard. Also, I don't know how else to say this and I don't want to give it away, but the like realm of the kind of item this is, you haven't even asked about yet. So it's hard for me to like continue to describe it.
That's interesting that I haven't reached the realm, but knowing that it is something that is reasonably found within a house does change things.
And honestly, you can just like, we can just keep going until you get it if you want, because you already won the game anyway. I'd love to see how long it takes you to get this, because
I'm on question 17 and I just used my hint.
Okay. And you got like 3 out of it.
I guess I should have narrowed it down further earlier, but is it made of metal?
No.
No, but it is hard. So that means it's either glass, ceramic, or plastic. All right. It's not part of a greater whole, so it's not like a window, because that's a part of a house. This is a very weird one. Very, very weird.
Like the other two were in a realm that you're like swimming in, but you're in the completely wrong end of the pool on this one. And I don't mean to discourage you. I want you to get it. I don't want to have to help too much, but I want you to be able to get it. So I don't want to just like withhold anything you need or want.
Is it hollow?
I need to answer this one carefully. Hold on. I'm going to go with the first definition on Google, having a hole or empty space inside it. I'm going to say yes.
Okay. Hole or empty space inside of it. Comes in a variety of sizes.
And shapes and variations. Not all of these items are, not all of this item is created the same.
People.
No, it's not. No.
All men.
Get back to the game.
Let's see. I only have one more question. Although I'm pretty sure you're willing to let that.
You can just,
fudge,
I don't really care about the limit anymore. You just keep going.
I care about the time limit for how long I'm taking on this. I'm going to cut this down like crazy.
Yeah, no, I didn't expect this segment to go as far as it did.
All right.
But I want you to be able to get this if it's possible. I mean, if you don't, then you don't. But, I'd like to see if you can get it.
It has an empty space inside of it. That's good to know. Does not hold... It has an empty space inside of it, but does not hold other things. That's interesting. So that means that whatever it is intended to be empty to some degree.
Okay. I'm going to make another clarification for free. Because that's not technically... Something fills the space inside of it. It's just not like a holding kind of thing. You know what I mean?
That's a very interesting thing.
It's a really surprisingly interesting item to try and have to explain without giving you any major information about it. And it's not your fault. It's just, it's like, again, the category of items you'd have in a house, this is a category of items you have not even remotely asked me about yet.
That's so strange.
It is
I haven't
strange.
even gotten close to that. But it's like, okay. So, it has an empty space inside of it that's supposed to be full, but it's not something that is like disassembled. It comes in one part. That's so strange.
I'm gonna need a beer after this one.
Things that if it doesn't hold other things, but it's filled with other things is the weirdest fucking thing about all this.
It's because the space inside of it gets filled, but not with things. Like it's hard to. I don't know how else to describe it.
It gets filled, but not with things?
No, not with things.
What the fuck? Comes in a variety of sizes. It's not electronic.
No, not even remotely at all close to an electronic item.
So if it gets filled with stuff, it has to be filled with something physical.
Yes, it is.
But it doesn't contain other objects.
It's your head, and it's full of air.
It's full. So I got a lot of water in my brain.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ. It's fucking demented. How can it be full, but it holds nothing? I am empty, but I hold stuff, but I don't hold things.
You do not hold things.
What the fuck? Not made of metal, comes in a variety of sizes, is not considered a household object, but is found in the house.
It comes in a variety of shapes and sizes.
Fuck.
Like, there are completely different looking versions of this thing, but it still falls under the umbrella of what this item is.
It doesn't hold other things. It has an empty space that is full of other things.
I would be having just as much trouble if I were in your position right now. This is just as hard for me to sit here through as it is for you.
Holy shit.
Because, I mean, I could just tell you what umbrella to look under, but I don't want to if you don't want that, because I want you to be able to get it.
Oh, God. It has to be used to serve its purpose. It's not like a fucking vase where it just sits there. But it's not mechanical, even on the most basic of levels of it being like a lever. But it is used. Oh, no. This is weird. Fuck you.
It's so tough. Because if you knew the umbrella, like the category umbrella of items this fell under in like a house, you would it probably like it would probably take you a few guesses and you get it.
Oh, of course. So I'm guessing a whole category, not a specific item.
I mean, the item is fairly specific, but you're barking up like every single wrong tree in terms of categories of items you find in a house. Like, I mean categories of items.
Yeah. Shit.
Like in a way of like furniture, kitchenware, like categories kind of like that.
Yeah. But the thing's that furniture technically is decorative. And it's not a decorative object, which makes it interesting that it comes in such a variety if it's not decorative, which means that each different size of it must be in some way unique to its use. But it's not a tool, so it's not like a different size screwdriver. Oh.
Wrong tree, wrong tree.
Wrong tree.
You're barking. No one's around to hear it.
Oh. If two dumb dogs bark at a tree in the woods.
Those are still two dumb dogs.
Are the dogs still dumb? Fuck. I gotta think about this last question real careful.
I'll bring the Marlboro.
I need it. I need to bring me some fucking Newports.
Are you gonna limit yourself to this last question?
Yes, for the sake of time.
Okay.
Oh, fuck. It doesn't hold other things, but it itself is full of things. So you don't put stuff in there. It would come pre-filled, but it's kind of one solid thing. You don't disassemble it. It's kind of just what it is.
Wrong tree, wrong tree, wrong tree, wrong tree. You were thinking of it so wrong.
Yeah, because that's the fucking questions that I've asked, and those are the answers you've given me.
Because it's just like one like category of items.
Is it a book?
No, it's not a book.
Not a book. Doesn't make noise. Ah!
And if I gave you any hints that had to do with the like category of item this is, it would be like, I think, too revealing for the point of the game.
Yeah. Hard to the touch. Comes in a variety of sizes.
I'm gonna say hard to the touch is I'm gonna reverse that call, because I don't think it's a solid, but I'm just that. Yeah, I'm gonna reverse that call.
Okay, well then I guess we rescind one question, and I would like to rephrase that.
Okay.
If you knocked on it, would it make a noise?
Probably not.
Probably not. Comes in a variety of shapes, sizes. Not decorative.
I mean, if you knocked on one part of one variation of this item, it would probably make a noise, but it's really hard to answer that way.
Fucking hell.
And make this easier. This episode's gonna end very bitter.
Fucking window shade.
No.
Fuck. Give me like a 2-minute timer, and then I can't go any further because I'm taking too long on this.
Mm.
I mean, is it just like a toy?
Is that a question?
That was a general guess.
No, it's not a toy.
Okay.
You've got a minute 43.
Not a toy, but it has to be. A person must use it for it to be useful. So it's not like an air freshener. It's not like a fucking car tag. It's variety of sizes. Not electronic. Comes in a variety of materials.
A person must interact with it for it to be useful. That's a better way to put it than use. I don't think that's going to help you at this point, though.
A person must interact for it to be useful. It doesn't hold other objects. If it is typically full of stuff.
You've got a minute left.
Do you move it to interact with it?
Yeah. It's a weird way to think of that for this item, though. Like, yes, you technically move it when you're interacting with it.
It's not like a shoe.
You're getting closer with that.
Oh my god. Shoe, watch. Not a wallet, because that's a container.
20 seconds.
Fucking hat? Not
yes.
It's a hat?
It's a hat. You got it.
Okay, I feel like that should fit under decorative.
All clothes are technically decorative, but like
I was thinking of something where its aesthetics didn't matter.
That's like the hard part. First of all, you got it with 10 seconds left. Impressive.
Yeah, I got there.
You did. I'm proud of you. And I'm sorry that was so hard. That really was not supposed to be so, like, I looked around my, like, rooms and was like, what are three different items that generally aren't, like, that hard to, like, what are they're not that obscure of items. But, like, I don't know. I got so rattled by the middle of it. It was, like, hard for me to figure out.
I think saying that a hat is not a household item is crazy.
Well, just because I was I was trying to figure out how to pull you away from like objects and like tools, like solid things that like objects that serve functions, and more so like, that's why like when I said it was hollow, it had empty space and it was filled with something, but it wasn't like objects or items. Like it's filled with your head, and you could call your head an object, but that's not like...
Now, you see what's silly about that is the fact that your head is not a part of the hat. I was like, a hat inherently is not full of a head.
Yeah, I said the space inside of the object is filled up. It's just not filled up with like other objects. That's what I meant. Well, either way, as hard as that was, you did get there.
I did get it. I got it within 20 questions.
You got it within 20 questions. You succeeded.
Gonna be our longest fucking episode because of how long I took on that.
Ended up with 13 points, won by a landslide.
We get there.
In terms of the amount of points you could literally earn in the game.
That's gonna be about half an hour shorter once it's edited for your enjoyment at home. You really should have put me on a time limit.
I just didn't. You got the first two so fast. I didn't think
that you're hitting like a 20 questions kind of thing on the type of person who will spend like 2 hours trying to think of how you would like phrase a wish to a genie.
Yeah. Well, trial by fire, and I figured out what happened when the fire got lit.
You put somebody who is extremely data driven into a data driven game.
And then I kept putting what I thought was water on the fire, instead was gasoline, so I just kept making it worse.
It was straight up gas.
Like, and all the times I've watched other people play 20 questions, I've never seen it get that intense. That was, in terms of like content though, that was good. I think that was a really funny episode. And thank you for playing.
That's what happens when I kick my fucking brain on.
I will have a much less difficult game for you next week.
I have a very quick segment.
Oh, okay.
I guess this will wrap us up.
Because I mean,
by the time that the other one gets edited down, it'll be like almost under length for an episode. I'm gonna run you through this real quick because this is one that doesn't take nearly as much time. You really should have put me on a timer. This is the same game that I did before, but I actually have a name for it. This is called Hearsay. The point of the game is that I'm going to read quotes from 2 different sources, and you have to tell me which quote belongs to which source. Are you ready?
Sure.
We have 10 questions this week as opposed to the 9 before. You're just going to be tallying up a score. We're not going to do like a win-lose kind of thing. Just go for high score. Your 2 sources for this week are Markiplier and 50 Shades of Grey.
My God. Okay.
First quote, I miss our private moments in the elevator.
50 Shades of Grey?
Wrong, that's Markiplier. Second quote, handsome, huge dick, like come on, treat me good.
See, there was a time where
Markiplier or 50 Shades of Grey.
Markiplier lost like the hinges for a little bit there in like the mid 2010s, and I kind of fell off of watching him around that time for a little bit there, so this is unfortunate.
Is the quote, handsome, huge dick, like come on, treat me good.
50 Shades of Grey.
Wrong, that's Markiplier.
Yeah, I bet these are all Markiplier, and you're just fucking with me. But anyway, go on.
I fucking could. Yes, I'm rich, get used to it.
50 Shades of Grey.
Correct!
One of them had to be, statistically. Holy shit.
I'm like an indecisive lesbian. Eat me, don't eat me.
There's no way Markiplier said that. But I'll guess Markiplier anyway.
That's Markiplier!
Why?
Pretty sure that's actually from The Edge of Sleep.
Don't even tell me.
Why is that desk so sticky?
50 Shades of Grey.
Markiplier.
Whatever.
Never trust a man.
Why can't you just say like, shut up nurse or some shit and make it easy?
Never trust a man who can dance.
50 Shades of Grey.
Correct.
Yay.
Don't place some vague moral judgment on yourself based on what others might think. Don't waste your energy.
50 Shades of Grey.
Correct.
Yeah, that sounded too sophisticated based on the quotes of Markiplier you're picking.
After all the vomit, he's still here.
Markiplier?
Wrong.
Yeah, that didn't really make sense. Honestly, my gut would have said pick 50 Shades of Grey, but I just went with Markiplier anyway.
Oh my God, I gotta get pregnant.
Markiplier?
Correct.
Yeah. Like wearing 50 Shades of Grey. God, I gotta get pregnant. That sounds like something out of Pitch Perfect. Some like shitty college movie.
I did follow my heart, and I have a sore ass.
50 Shades of Grey.
Correct! You did pretty good on this. You got, how many points is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points out of 10.
Yay, I got over half.
Much better than you did last time.
Yes, I do remember getting almost none of them last time.
Yeah. All right. That was hearsay.
I got majority points in your game, and you won my game and then some, minus the amount of mental cost.
Yeah, I was thinking of doing this all Markiplier, but, you have to have something to guess against.
I'm going to read 15 funny Markiplier quotes. Subscribe for more.
Motherfucker, it is January 1st. Why are you setting off fireworks? I hate my neighbors. Yeah, we got a few left over.
Well, I hope you all enjoyed this week's episode. This is the third to last episode of the show. There's only 2 left now. So be sure to tune in next week so you don't miss it, because it'll be gone forever after next week. Never coming back.
Bye.